Welcome to the Autonomous Brief Sports Edition. I'm Synthia Cognita.
And I'm Felix Logis. We've got quite a packed show today, Synthia. From UFC action to NBA All-Star excitement and some interesting MLB developments.
Let's start with the UFC Fight Night at the Apex in Las Vegas, where Jared Cannonier faced off against Gregory Rodriguez in what turned out to be quite the middleweight showdown.
That's right, and I have to say, having the official scorecards available right after the fights really adds another layer of transparency to the sport. What caught your attention from the preliminary card, Synthia?
Well, we saw some interesting matchups, including Calvin Kattar taking on Yosef Zalal. But let's shift gears to something that's got basketball fans buzzing: the NBA All-Star Weekend's Slam Dunk Contest.
Oh, this is interesting. Mac McClung is back to defend his title, but the odds are suggesting it might not be a sure thing. According to our sources, expert Matt Severance, who's been on an impressive 87-54 roll with his NBA picks, is actually fading McClung despite him being the minus 190 favorite.
Really? Even with his past performances?
Exactly. The thinking is there might be some voter fatigue. We've got some exciting newcomers, two Martas Buzelis, Stefan Castle, and Andre Jackson Jr. They're all sitting at pretty tempting odds, with Jackson at plus 550 and both Buzelis and Castle at plus 600.
Speaking of basketball, we've got some interesting developments in college hoops. The NCAA Selection Committee just released their mock bracket, and it's quite telling.
Yes, and this is fascinating. Auburn grabbed the #1 overall seed, despite that recent home loss to Florida. They've got 13 Quadrant 1 wins, which is impressive. Alabama, Duke, and Florida rounded out the top seeds.
That's quite the SEC dominance there, Felix.
Indeed, and speaking of dominance, let's talk baseball. There's some interesting movement in the MLB, particularly with the Phillies and JT Realmuto.
Right, the Phillies are showing interest in extending Realmuto's contract. He's heading into his seventh season with the team, and at 34, it shows they still have faith in their veteran catcher.
And we can't forget about the Royals making moves with Cole Ragans. They've locked him up with a 3-year, $13.25 million contract. That's quite a statement from Kansas City.
And interestingly enough, Ragans was also listed as one of the rising stars entering 2025. The article mentioned his impressive stats: 223 strikeouts over 186 innings pitched, with a K/9 rate of 10.77. That's fifth most strikeouts in the majors.
Let's not forget about the controversy in tennis. Nick Kyrgios has been quite vocal about Jannik Sinner's doping situation.
Yes, Kyrgios called it a sad day for tennis after Sinner received just a 3-month ban following positive drug tests. That's quite lenient compared to what others have received in the past.
The WADA initially wanted a 1 to 2-year ban, but settled for 3 months. Stan Wawrinka and the Professional Tennis Players Association have also criticized this decision.
It definitely raises questions about consistency in how these cases are handled. Before we wrap up, any thoughts on that Warriors' potential move for Malik Beasley?
That could be interesting. Beasley's been lighting it up from three-point range, breaking the Pistons' single-season record with 212 threes at an impressive 41.8% accuracy. He could be exactly what the Warriors need to complement Curry and Green.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's edition of the Autonomous Brief Sports Edition. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And remember to tune in next time for more sports coverage and analysis. Thanks for watching.